to power. Hey, we are live. Hey, folks, thanks for tuning in to the BAMF podcast. I'm your host with the most, Mike Lafferty. Just 1 second, I have to play this contractually obligated intro music. Gentle listener, that sonic orgasm assures you that you are listening to a high quality, high production values podcast. So be assured. And today we have comics legend, the creator of King Shark, Karl Kesel, has somehow joined us on our podcast. I don't know how we got this lucky, but thank you, Karl.
You're more than welcome.
So, we also have, you've been a guest several times in the past, Charlie Mckelvey, creator of Spider Squirrel and Trash Panda. How are you doing, Charlie?
Hey, great, man. Thanks.
Yeah, good to have you. And frequent co-hosts Jacob Blackman and Walt. Hey, Jacob. Hey, Walt.
Pleasure.
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo está? So let's just dive right in. Karl, I honestly had heard of you just once or twice before. I was Googling you before this interview, and I was just amazed at the breadth and depth of your career. And hell, you created King Shark. I mean, this must have been a big year for you this last year with him, making his jump to the big screen.
Yeah, well, if he would be in a major motion picture, I would have laughed at you, and voiced by Sylvester Stallone. You just don't know what life's going to throw at you. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, I was not planning this 25 years ago, but it's been a really fun time,
Cool. Did you get to go to the premiere and do the red carpet and shake hands with celebrities and all that?
Well, I actually was invited. So I would have had a ticket, but I would have had to pay my way down there, pay a hotel room. My wife wanted to go. We couldn't find babysitters. So no, I didn't go. I really wanted to because I'm probably never, ever going to get invited to another Hollywood premiere. But the timing, I wish, didn't happen. Sorry. Yeah.
No worries. No worries. Still very exciting. Well, let's talk about your new project. You're breaking out on your own, and your new character is called Impossible Jones. Let me pull up your Kickstarter. Can you set this up for our viewers?
Well, Impossible Jones is a thief, and she gains powers. And in the course of her origin, she's mistaken for a superhero, and she just decides to run with it. Because if people think you're a superhero, first of all, the cops are your friends. They don't shoot at you. And if you walk into a jewelry store and say, "Show me your security system," they say, "Glad to." And she has not given up her life of crime. And so she's playing a balancing game between trying to be perceived as a hero, but still, when she sees something she likes, she gets it, So that's the basic concept of the character. And then we're in the middle of, this is the 2C, the third of 4 team-up stories. And in this specific one, she teams up with a character named Polecat, who's kind of like Daredevil with a bow staff. That's really the level of power is. He's a Daredevil sort of character. And if he has any superpower, it's that people really like him. He's just a really likable guy. And in the city that they operate in, he knows a phenomenal amount of people by their first name. And he knows the name of their pets, and he knows their job. He's this really likable guy.
That sounds like Walt.
So, what?
That sounds like Mr. Walt, 2 squares above you.
So I try to be likable, and then my mom says, "Oh, sorry. Go ahead."
I'm sorry. I was just going to say that's really the basic concept. And as it says here, it's this specific story. There's a rash of hauntings going on, and so Polecat pulls in Impossible Jones to investigate the hauntings, and that's the plot. And as they learn more about each other as they hang out with each other. That's really kind of what happens. So, there's Zeus Karnacki. He is a ghost finder that they run into. And he's kind of like a low-rent Dr. Strange. He uses high-tech devices to stop supernatural beings. And this is a little Easter egg is Karnacki, the name Karnacki. There is a Thomas Karnacki who was a ghost finder. That's exactly what it's called in a novel written by William Hope Hodgson back in the 1920s. Oh. And Thomas Karnacki has appeared as a public domain character in Alan Moore's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Now, Zeus is a descendant. So,
That is what the hip kids call a deep cut.
It is.
I love when creators do that sort of thing. That's the sort of stuff I like doing in my own setting. So seeing you do that just makes me love you even more.
God, I love that Eminem cover. Oh,
yeah. Well, both of them.
More. Yeah, and
Stuart and Bill. I mean, you can't ask for better alternate covers. I mean, really, literally, I can't think of two better covers than this.
No,
and I've been after Bill for a while. I was able to finally pin him down. Thank you, Bill. And Stuart was, my God, dumb luck, because I contacted him. I hadn't talked to him in years. Contacted him, and he happened to be coming back from one vacation, and he had a couple of weeks, and he was going to leave for 5 months. He was going to leave for 5 months, and he goes, "Yeah, I got a week. I'll draw you a cover." So I mean, that was dumb luck, but I'm going to take whatever luck I can get here. Believe me.
Well, it looks beautiful, and I aspire to one day have a living situation where I can also take 5-month vacations.
Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice?
So I found Impossible Jones in the first campaign that Karl and team ran, and I fell in love with the character right off the bat. Just flipping through here like you guys are doing, I was like, okay, I'm back in this one. And then I got the book, and I was like, okay, this is great. So it's a lot of fun, and I think I even described it to Karl directly. I was like, it's both nostalgic and fresh, and it's and it's superhero fun. It just has I don't know, it just gives you that vibe of classic comics without over cheesing, if that makes sense. And it's just fantastic.
Well, thank you, Charlie.
Oh yeah, and David's art style just is perfect for the tone.
Yeah, he really nails the tone of the book so well. And I also want to give a shout out, especially on this page. I love this page that you have up right now. We have a new colorist with this book, Ryan Cody. And Ryan, I just love his color choices every single time. They're so wonderful. So.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the adaptations of Batman animated series. Just
it's got a little bit of that feel. Sure, I would not argue with that, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
No.
One thing I really have to give you credit for, especially on your Kickstarter and your comic, is typically when I see a comic featuring a woman, there's a lot of alternate covers that you can opt in, and it's a lot of sexy art on there. And then you look at the interior art, and it's just trash. So I love seeing a comic project like this, where you have great cover art, great alternate cover art, and you're not pandering to the sexy, we have naked girl covers, and you have fantastic interior art. It warms my artist heart to see this.
Well, thanks. I mean, that's kind of what we aspire to. Although I have to say, I look at the numbers some of those other projects get, and I kind of think maybe we're doing something wrong. Believe me.
That is that is the other side of that.
So you guys will appreciate this, and I don't think I've said this publicly, but we were having an internal conversation about Trash Panda, and we'll talk about my book later. But to the point you guys are talking about is we were joking because everybody loves Trash Panda, and I said, I think we were talking about the cheesy books, like in the books that have all the TNA and stuff, and these naked covers. And I said, man, I need to do a naked cover with Trash Panda with like a banana covering his crotch or something, or a pineapple pizza pie or something, just to be silly.
If you want to hire me, I'm all for it.
Make it like a gatefold cover, so like centerfold kind of thing, where you hold it
up. Yeah.
Karl, you're smashing it on this campaign again, brother. I'm as a happy backer and fan. It's great to see that. So I've never told you. My history with you goes back to Legion of Superheroes.
Oh.
So when the first time I remember seeing your name and paying attention, I want to say Paul and Terry. Paul did the writing, Levitz, and I want to say it was Terry Shoemaker.
Terry Shoemaker, you got the name. That's right.
Yep. So
an amazing artist.
Yeah. Fun fact too, Adam Kubert was a letterer or lettering help or something. I remember on one of the first books you did.
I forgot that, but you're right.
Yeah,
I forgot that.
I might even have that book over here somewhere, but I'll find it later. Yeah.
Well, Charlie has an encyclopedic comic file in his brain. That's amazing.
Only for the stuff I love.
Yeah, I used to be that way, but I've like forgotten more than I ever remembered at this point.
Sweet. Well, hey, we have the link up in the comments. We'll put in the show notes. Impossible Jones and Polecat team up. 6 days left as of today, so jump on this bandwagon while you can. You can get it in, get the PDF at a very affordable tier, and of course that can go all the way up to previous books and physical copies and whatnot. So really, this looks like a lot of fun. I'm going to be back as soon as we get off the show, Karl. Thanks. Well, thanks for making this. So
no, not a problem. So yeah, I mean, I'll take anyone who wants to come and support us. I think obviously I'm biased, but I do think it's a fun book. I do think, and really fun is what it comes down to. I think comics should be fun. I mean, I enjoy the darker stuff too, but it's just not in my soul. That's not my role. That's roles for other people, and they do it really well. So this is my role, and I'm trying to do it as well as I can. I
think that's what I really enjoy about reading it as a fan is I feel like your heart and mine are aligned in that sense, Karl. Because I mean that's and these guys know because they've got my book as well. As I want to write a funny, just have a good time kind of a book. I want people to I want them to laugh, smile, and walk away going, oh, I drank a little sunshine or some shit. I don't know, but
I think one of the most formative points in my childhood was reading the Lee Kirby Fantastic Fours, and I remember enjoying the adventures. But I even remember even stronger laughing so hard I could not breathe. Literally could not breathe over some of the jokes that Stan Lee was having. Ben and Johnny banter back and forth. That has left a deep impression in me about what I should aim for in my work.
Yeah, the first time I ever read Billy Ween, Boy Genius, or Barry Ween, Boy Genius, I had a similar reaction. But I wish Judd was still making those books. Oh well. Well, hey, Charlie, let's talk about your book real fast. And I don't know if you know this, but Trash Panda actually debuted on this show.
Oh my gosh!
Walt role played him in a Marvel playtest. There's a new Marvel RPG that's out there in playtest form, and Walt rescanned one of the pre-gens, I think, and played Trash Panda.
That's so cool.
I think that was more had to do with Jason throwing that together than me.
Chondro?
No, Sunday.
Oh, okay, nice.
Sunday, but I am definitely a Spider Squirrels fan. Stemming back to the time when you were like, I want to do a comic about a superhero, but first I must do this myself. And then you started doing parkour over everything.
Yeah, that was just before I went on Ninja Warrior too. So that was a lot of fun.
Charlie, before I forget, did you meet a guy named Eben Bartholomew when you were auditioning for Ninja Warrior a couple years ago? Eben Bartholomew, kid from Colorado. Not ringing a bell?
No, but when I was on the show, I met so many people behind the scenes and during the show. I mean, in Miami alone, there were over 100 other competitors plus their families, and so I don't know why that's familiar, but I can't get the face with it.
He was my kid's skateboarding and snowboarding coach, and one day he was talking about American Ninja Warrior. He's like, I met this great guy named Charlie McElvey. I'm like, you're shitting me. I know Charlie from RPGs. So.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm sorry I didn't remember him exactly.
No, no worries.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we talked to so many people, and it's just, and of course, your brain is all like, oh, I got to run, and you're,
I'm sure it's a high distraction environment. But hey, focusing, Spider Squirrel going on right now, 14 days left. You guys have smashed through your goal. Tell us about this book.
Why would a squirrel ever focus? So, for those of you who never heard Trash Panda or Spider Squirrel, it's a buddy cop comedy kind of book, and we did an homage to George. This cover was done last year prior to George's illness being announced, even. But it's a parody of the classic Crisis cover that has been homaged or parodied, thousands of times at this point. We couldn't resist. But yeah, it's in the vein of Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, just to give people a sense of the tone and the tenor of the book. But at the same time, these are new characters. You dive right in the first issue. We don't spend time on origin stories. We will at some point, but I just felt like it was more important to introduce the characters. And you guys know, most of you read the first issue on this panel here. we dive right into the dialogue, the interactivity between Trash Panda and Spider Squirrel to show you that these two guys are the best of friends and they're the best of idiots and they're having a great time together. A little bit of Abbott and Costello, kind of play going on between them. And in the greater context of all this indieverse or multiversal activity going on. So, I won't spoil it too much for those who want to go back and read the whole thing. But, it starts out with the Spider Squirrel breaks up with his girlfriend. He's happy. She's probably happy too, it sounds like. And then Trash Panda insists on him finding a new date. And so they pursue going to a superhero nightclub called President Wolfman's. And they go and he dates he speed dates through a few girls, and then finally he's frustrated enough, but his phone goes off, an alarm is set, and there's criminal activity. Woohoo, gotta go! And so he bounces out and literally bounces out of the universe by accident, and he bounces around the indie comics multiverse. And for me, that was really fun because my favorite part. I love writing the characters and having the story set up. And my absolute favorite part, though, was really bringing in the greater indie comics community into the book. And, other writers got to write my character in their universe. And so, and use their art teams. And so the art team changes, the entire creative team changes for each of these little interstitials as he bounces through the multiverse. So a whole lot of fun there. And this third issue here that is the primary point of this campaign is to wrap up Volume 1. Spider Squirrel's back, home. Trash Panda may or may not be. I'll let you guys figure that out when you read the book. So we're finishing up and really setting up my Zion universe. There's so many characters I have here to share with you guys. Some of you read my WatchGuard source book from about a decade ago. It was a gaming source book. Most or all of those characters are around in one capacity or another to show up in the my universe somewhere at some point. So
I guess it has to be asked, while he's bouncing around the multiverse of indie comics, does he run into Impossible Jones?
Not this time.
Not this time.
Okay.
but I have to say, Charlie, while you were talking about that, I was just thinking that's one of the things I love about indie comics is, if you want to do, I haven't done actual scenes with other characters, but I've done a number of what I call imp prints, where it's a single image of Impossible Jones with Trekker or with Damsel from Distress or with someone from Gateway City. These little, these other little comics that I love. And you can do these sort of crossovers so easily. It's not like lawyers are involved and, who's going to get credit and how much percentage. It's done because everyone loves the medium.
Yeah, I love it too. And it's a great way for us to showcase each other. That was the point of me doing that is I wanted people to see Eric Bennett's Steel Wolf and, Scott Fogg's universe. And Scott actually is on board with he's actually writing a one-shot for me. If you guys want, I can tease out an exclusive here for a cover.
Ooh. Yeah, that would be awesome.
So Scott and team are working on, let me see if I can pull this. Excuse me while I whip this out.
Charlie, you're in sales in your day job, right? Aren't you? Or did you choose that?
I'm technical.
Okay.
Sales, but yeah.
Okay.
So let me. I'll share my screen and. All right, is that working? Yeah, that's working. So, all right, there you go. So here,
that looks nice.
Very nice.
Pretty.
So thank you. Yeah, that's one of the covers. That's the main cover for my love letter to this Fantastic Four, obviously. Scott Fogg writes Phileas Reed. He has his own book. He's got other books too he's written. He'll be at Heroes Con if you guys want to go see him. He wrote this one with me. We're both dads of adopted daughters. And so this book is a story not just about a cosmic family, but it's a family story. It's about adoption. It's about acceptance. It's about, really each of these kids is from a different universe. So you've got, I guess in a sense, like Blue Marvel and I don't know, pick a traveling female interdimensional person, and those two have gone through the multiverse, and one of these kids is their own a birth child, and then the other 3 will be adopted from different universes and planets. And so it's really fun. I love what Scott wrote here. My art team is fantastic. There's an alternate cover there.
That's nice.
Veronica Fish. Yeah.
The colors there.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, really nice.
So when is this going to be a Kickstarter?
Well, that's we got to get this one wrapped up first.
Okay.
There's a nice Kirby-esque homage from Chris Malgreen. So the fundamentals, we're still working on it. Let me stop the share here. Oops.
Infinity cover.
We just had our Infinities zone there. So the plan is to have it out this year, possibly this fall. Craig actually just uploaded some more art. He did that first cover I showed you guys. Ross Hughes is doing the colors. You guys all know Ross. He actually covered that Perez homage that you guys saw just a minute ago. And Micah Myers, Eisner winning letterer, is doing the lettering for us, and Vito DeSante is my editor. So got a great team. Super excited about this one.
We had Vito on a decade ago, I think, to talk about World War Mob and what was happening.
God, that was forever ago.
Yeah, I was back in the action when everyone was excited about Action Lab, which is not the case anymore, I understand. But that's another show, perhaps. So.
But Charlie, I just want to say I'm a huge fan of Fantastic Four, so I'm very interested in that project. But even more than that, I have 2 adopted kids.
Oh, wonderful!
And I didn't, so like you caught my attention on 2 fronts there.
Yay! I love it, man. The kids on that on the fundamentals, when we designed them, we intentionally designed them around my own children. So
nice.
The Asian girl's my adoptive daughter. The mixed girl with the purple hair, she's actually modeled after my my second daughter, who is non-binary, and so that character is intentionally non-binary as well. And then the boy is my son. The big green guy is probably me on a bad day. I don't know, but
well, Charlie, if you ever want to take the leap into RPGs again with your characters, our friend Walt over there happens to own a Supers RPG system.
Well,
it is true.
Walt, we might have to talk about that, because one of the things that Vito and I were having Vito DeSante, Dean Haspel, and I were having a jam session. Because we're doing stuff together. Dean created a character for my universe that's going to debut later that you guys haven't met yet. So we're going to dip into the weird a little bit with Dean. But I was talking about reviving the old gaming stuff and bringing it back. So I'm going to do kind of the ultimate testament of the WatchGuard universe, or we're going to call it the Zion universe, since it's more expansive now. And all the stuff that we published before will update. Maybe some new art. We'll definitely put in some of the non-print published stuff, the things that I put on Drive-Thru RPG. And then I have a ton of characters that never even got published at all, digitally or otherwise, that we're going to introduce in the book. And then we'll go from there. So stay tuned. But Walt, I might have to tag you on that one, man, because Supers would be a good platform for that.
Absolutely. And your WatchGuard source book that went along just before, as you launched WatchGuard and Teen Force 5, that was an impressive collection, especially in the time it was launched, because everybody was doing like the single character thing, and it was just dropping here and there, and but like you launched that like well ahead of the curve, and that was the colors, the art on that, just unbelievable work, and even stuff like Jacob's Superpowered Legends. When he collected his, it's the same kind of deal, but like to have that expansive body of work all in one place, but then put the passion into it with that level of art, rock on.
Thanks, brother. Hey, fun fact, Sean Isaacs, who is the artist for Fantastic Four Family. I don't know if you read, or Life, I forget the name of that series now.
Yeah.
Are you reading?
Yeah, well, I read it a couple months ago. It's been pretty good. And Sean's a great guy. He's been on the show a few times. Really like him.
Yeah, love Sean, co-creator Stray. I'm going to claim that I found Sean. So Sean's art is all through the first book, and that's how Vito found Sean, and that's how Stray got created. And eventually, he worked at Green Ronin, and then now Marvel. So I'll take that claim. But Sean's doing a variant cover for us too for that Fundamentals series, which I thought was fitting for us to get back together on that one.
Did you get a finder's fee of pineapple on pizza?
Yeah, and I threw it all up too. So.
I love it.
Yeah, Sean's a good guy. We had him on talking with Ron Mars. They've been doing some collaborations together.
Yeah.
Sean's the reason I'm going to be collecting the new Thunderbolt series in a couple of months.
I know, me too.
He's going to be the main artist on that.
Yep.
I didn't know there was a main Thunderbolts book coming back.
It's a brand new series. It was supposed to be out this month, but they pushed it back 2 months. So it's going to be out in July.
Who's writing it? Who's writing that? Who's writing Thunderbolts?
I forgot.
Okay, doesn't matter.
I'm getting into the art.
It is not important.
I forgot. I can't believe that. Oh my gosh.
All right, I got an announcement here on Marvel.com. Redeeming Justice like lightning. I want to just share this with you since this is a visual medium,
that's right. Oh,
Zub? Okay.
Yeah, Zub's doing it. We were just on the Twitter thing together. I should have remembered that.
Yep, Jim Zub and Sean Isaacs.
Oh,
sorry, Zub. I should have remembered that.
And Hawkeye, the old dude Hawkeye is going to be on this. So
is that a DNA cover?
I'm not sure. Oh, Photon, America Chef. Yeah. She is Photon, right? These days.
Yeah, that's. I believe it's Photon. It's the new Power Man. Not Luke Cage, but the new Power Man.
Yeah,
American Chavez, and a couple of new characters who I'm not familiar with.
I think that's a Space Goblin right there at the bottom, isn't it? Mm-hmm. No, okay, just guessing.
Yeah, it is this Nakayama.
All right, so that's coming out soon. All right, that's something I'll check out then. I was unaware that was the thing that was happening. So I've been so hit and miss on superhero comics for like years now. Every once in a while, I'll pick it. Like Sean Isaacs telling us about something, I'll pick it up, like his Fantastic Four stuff, or was it Chip Zdarsky's Spider-Man life story? I was picking up that. That was incredible. But I've just missed a lot of. I mean, all the events where everyone has a hammer, or whatever else is going on in Marvel.
Or Phoenix.
Yeah. Been missing those.
You got Impossible Jones you can read now, Mike.
Yeah, I have been reading a lot of. That's usually where I'm at. Walt steered me towards indies a few years ago. That's mainly what I've been reading, or at least the good indies.
Well, I have to say that's where all my focus is too. I hardly know what's going on at DC and Marvel and even Image and Dark Horse. I go, really? That's happening? I'm surprised.
Yeah, major characters die and come back, or get become different versions of themselves, or different people. I guess Elektra is Daredevil now. I didn't know that happened, but
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Is she Daredevil, or is she just one of the Daredevils?
She's one of them.
There's like a Daredevil core.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Just stop.
The Daredevil Alley core. Yeah. Well, it's funny. And Karl, I'm the same way. Most of if you look at my Kickstarter profile, I look obsessive. I think I've backed, 400 and something ridiculous, things. And most of those are indie comics. And even the mainstream books that I read are indie-esque, right? Moon Knight, Shang-Chi, Dark Hawk. It's just like, and of course, TMNT, The Last Ronin, which is absolutely one of my favorite series in years and years and years.
Really? Craziness.
Literally brought a tear to my eye. I haven't had a book do that in forever. It's the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got a couple of good indie companies here in Oklahoma. Up in Tulsa, we have Eclipse Comics that do a lot of primarily people of color series, and they're amazing. And in Oklahoma City, we've got Blue Turtle Comics that do a lot of different stuff. I'm a particular fan of Sooner Force that they do. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping to see more of that.
They have a new one coming out. I got an alert on Kickstarter about them. So
cool.
Yeah. Well, hey,
Jason, out there, I just want to say I love Dark Hawk too. My best friend and I collected the original run, the Manly run, way back when it first hit. We were like, "Oh, this will go up in price." It never really did, but we did collect the entire series. I still have the whole run somewhere in my long boxes.
I love what Abbott did with Fraternity of Raptors during the Marvel Cosmic stuff a few years ago. Well, I guess it's a whole new dude who's Dark Hawk now, so that's probably
Yeah, the Raptors thing in the War of Kings was outstanding. I loved that. And then the new series is super good too. The kid has MS, and but he doesn't have it when he's in the Darkhawk. Nice. He doesn't have it when he's in Darkhawk mode. So unfortunately, I don't think that series is. It didn't last long enough to really get any feet. Really, I think it got canned too quickly. I get it. It's corporate. You got to do what you got to do.
Well, it's a drag, but it seems like you're not making big numbers in the first 6 months to 12 months. They yank you, so letting you build an audience the way you can with indie comics, like you guys are doing. So
Yeah.
Well, we have the links in the show notes in the comment section for both Karl and Charlie's Kickstarter, so you should check them out. Do Karl's first because he's got like 6 days left. Charlie's got a couple days longer than that. Let's go ahead and wrap things up. Any closing
But
thoughts?
they can do both. They can do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to pick. You can do a twofer.
Well, no, I don't. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't have any. I can't think of any specific closing thoughts other than I was really glad to kind of stumble onto this because of Charlie. And this has been a lot of fun to hang out with you guys. So, hey, I got one question before we get done. You guys were talking about mainstream. I've heard that Nightwing is really good at DC. Is that true?
Nightwing is phenomenal.
That's what I've heard.
Everyone
tells me I would like it specifically. So.
I've loved Nightwing since the 80s, but some series are better than others. I actually enjoyed the Grayson series, but this is definitely one of the best Nightwing series since the Dixon McDaniel run, frankly.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like top of my list to check out, that one. And I hear good things about Human Target too. So
I've heard good things. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, me. Yeah. All right. I just mean that was a detour. You guys were talking about me. You guys know more than me, so I thought I'd find out.
There has been a lot of fun banter, and I love the cheese. If there's a hero comic, a lot of banter and running on rooftops and jokey stuff. That's why I like Charlie stuff. A lot of that Nightwing. They've been doing some experimental fun stuff. Issue 87 last year had no panels. So it was effectively the whole issue was just one.
I read about that. I read about it, but forgot that it was Nightwing. Okay.
Yeah,
that's where he's like running across the rooftop of a train or something.
Yeah, it was a cool. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of gimmicky, but it was a lot of fun to read. The last there was a Moon Knight anthology issue last week that came out that had a story told backwards.
It's Black, White, and Blood.
Yeah, that was a trip to read. It was once again kind of gimmicky, but it was a fun gimmick and it worked. So
you know what it reminded me of? Memento.
I was just going to say it sounds like Memento, which worked. You got to be careful. Those things can be tricky, but they can be pulled off.
Yeah. Walt, any closing thoughts, sir?
Hi, buy their books.
Walt summarizing the last 30 minutes of conversation. All right, cool. Jacob, sir, anything?
I'm pretty much with Walt. Support indie comics, support indie artists, buy their books, support them however you can.
Yeah, because the great thing about
you got Patreon, how can we give you money?
Yeah, no doubt. The great thing about indie comics is you got really cool creators breaking some very, very new ground, and we're seeing these awesome new characters like Spider Squirrel, Trash Panda, Impossible Jones. We get to see new and not just the same regurgitated stories from the last 50 years, and nobody wants to see Cap Wolf ever again. So, I mean, it's just like to have indie comics come out and do amazing stuff like back when in the 90s when Image did did the first Shadowhawk, that was that series still like infests my brain as one of the all-time greats for me.
Coming back. You see that?
No, I can't. I can't.
Yeah, no, Philip Tan's doing a cover even. So
yeah, I saw it.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it. But for me, unless it's the original with the lawyer and telling that story, I'm all set. But it's just like those having indie comics out there and doing stuff like what Charlie's doing with Spider Squirrel, what Karl's doing with Impossible Jones. You got the guy that does, and I love the title just because I love to torture my wife with it. The Transgalactic Interdimensional Taxi Service.
Grot.
Yeah.
Those guys are great, man.
Stuff like that. There's so much great in the indie comics community. Why funnel money toward that other stuff? I mean, if it's good, cool, rock it. Yeah. But I mean, if it's not, then it's just no.
You know,
These
Walt,
guys much better.
the big Uncle Walt needs your money, Walt. Those parks are expensive to run, man.
Yeah, at for a family of 4, doing $25,000 for a family of 4, there are much better ways to spend $25,000 than to possibly be molested by Goofy. All set.
I think that's the e-ticket ride. But, yeah. Okay, I'm not going to make
Obviously,
it
takes the back tour. The backstage tours. My goodness.
Yeah.
They want to bring the magic.
Oh, it's the magic. All right.
Okay, I think we need to stop the podcast now before I have a new discussion / jokes any further. And with that, folks, let me indulge our outro music. Thank you for checking out the BAMF podcast. We are your best choice for 1 hour long lunchtime RPG sessions and quirky indie comics chatter. So please follow us on YouTube, like and subscribe, as the kids say. And we will catch you next time.